Hey there, this is Philip from Beyond the Tabletop. This video is a review and build for the Gryer pattern Hellhound from Forgeworld. As you can see here, I've got the Forgeworld Gryer pattern Hellhounds. These are now out of production, but you can still get the Artemis pattern. The Artemis pattern, in terms of a hull, is exactly the same as the Gryer pattern. The only difference is the turret. The turret has a much lower profile. This is because it's an automated turret. The Gryer pattern, however, is a bit more like the classic Hellhound and sports a manned turret, which is why it's slightly larger. Here is a quick look of the instructions. As you can see, it is super simple and there's only a handful of parts to the build. On the back is a little instruction guide. You can ignore this section at the top. This is the old style track unit, which is actually much more complicated, but obviously you do need to build your tracks, and the plastic hull kit here. And then this is just detailing all the components and how they get built. So here is the Hellhound kit as it comes from Forgeworld, with the heavy bolter and the original turret weapon. The kit doesn't come with any other turret variant, so you can't play it as the Devil Dog or the Bane Wolf. And I'll be talking a little bit about that later and covering it in a future video. The Hellhound itself is only made out of a couple of resin parts along with the base plastic kit. You've got the main resin hull on which sits the fuel tank and the turret. You've then got the Inferno cannon itself. You've then got this small bit of resin which actually just sort of hooks on place, and it just helps join these two seams together between the top hull and the bottom. And then lastly you get a resin bolter. As with all of my kind of Chimera chassis tanks, I've managed to magnetize it. I've got a video which goes into this in more detail, and I can use this technique just to mount up a heavy flamer instead of a heavy bolter. I get the feeling the heavy flamer doesn't actually come with this kit, and instead I've taken it from the Lehman Russ kit. The other thing I've done is magnetized the turret, which just keeps it in place but also allows it to rotate around. So I've got a string of 3mm magnets going all the way around the turret in a compass formation, and then on the bottom of the turret I've just actually got two. Now I don't need to do any more than two, because at any one point those two magnets are going to line up with two of these magnets, which will give the turret the ability to spin around on all its points. It also helps lock the turret in place, so when I'm picking it up and moving, this isn't going to accidentally fall off. So here is the turret up close. You'll notice I've magnetised this turret. So I've used a 3mm magnet in the weapon and a stack of 3mm magnets at the back. Now, by using a stack of magnets in the turret, that means I can sort of save on magnets while increasing the strength, because the stack is within here and I only ever need to use one magnet for each weapon rather than say 3. Now there was quite a bit of green stuffing going along these seams just to fill in some gaps. There was a fair bit of green stuffing work that I did here quite a while back. That was just because this was sort of poorly miscast and wasn't very smooth, so I've tried my best to fix that. And while it looks pretty awful because it's a mixture of liquid green stuff and green stuff, it is actually relatively smooth, so I think once it's painted it will look a lot better. You can see on my second Hellhound there was only a tiny bit of green stuffing needed just to try and smooth that out. Now you can see there's a big strip of green stuff just joining this plastic bit to the resin. This is something I've noticed in a couple of the Forgeworld kits, for example the Trojan, so if you want to know why that occurs, just check out that video. For my second tank I wanted to go for something a little bit more dynamic, which is something I want to do with more of my tanks going forward, and that's to have people in the top turret, e.g. the tank commander. This is to just add a bit more of a human element to my tanks, which you don't normally get when the hatches are closed and you can't see anybody in them. So the tank commander and the hatches are just dry fitted using blue tack. This is because I'm going to paint the tank commander and the hatches as part of a sub-assembly, and once they're painted I'll glue them all together at the end. Now I did a bunch of different possible poses for this tank commander. I put those photos up on Beyond the Tabletop's Instagram and Facebook feed for you guys to have a vote on. So this was the winning pose, where the tank commander is shielding himself from the heat and the flame of the torrent with his left arm, but still got his pistol out ready to shoot anyone coming nearby. So there you have it, a completed Forgeworld Gryer pattern Hellhound. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. The next video is covering the Banewolf and Devil Dog weapon variants, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified when that video is live. And just a little sample for now, here's the scratch built weapon variants. This one is the Devil Dog with its iconic melter cannon. And then I have the other one, which is the Banewolf's chem cannon. I'll be showing you how I made these in the next video. That's all for now. Until the next time, take care.